Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's exciting episode, Mr. Jake, what movie are we going to be discussing?
We are discussing 2022's X, directed by Ty West.
Ooh. In preparation for
Maxine.
Yes, we will be covering Maxine next.
Yes, you can't spell Maxine without X.
Without X, exactly. Yes, I'm excited to get into this here fine film. But before we get into it, how was your week, bud?
It was good.
Good?
A lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Good. Watch anything outside of Max or X?
No, I don't think I did.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah.
I watched some like TV shows, but nothing as much as that COVID week. I tell you what.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into it, what we would like to let anyone new to our channel or who haven't done yet know.
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
Also listen to us on Spotify,
We're on there.
as well as Apple.
Yep.
We're also on Instagram. J Square Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together. We drink and we talk. All things horror. With this podcast, we like having an open communication-based podcast where we can talk about different movies that our fans want to hear. We can do submissions. We can do fan requests. You can come on the show live and in person or via StreamYard. Or we pick movies to talk about based on current movies coming out, trending movies, or movies that we would like to discuss ourselves. So if that intrigues you at all, please go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. There you can click buttons to contact us for anything. What I'd also like to mention real quickly is we are a part of the Darkcast Network. The Darkcast Network is an independent podcasting network about strange paranormal, true crime, and now horror podcasts. So if you need a podcasting fill for your week, please check out Darkcast Network at darkcastnetwork.com or Darkcast Network on Instagram. Ty West. He's done some other stuff. I don't really know what off the top of my head, but I know he's a horror director. When I heard about this trilogy that he was doing, it was intriguing. It was exciting. When I first watched X, I was like, couldn't quite see it. I was at my mom's house. It was dark. Her settings were shit. And also, if you know anything about X, it's not the most fun movie to watch with your moms.
No, it is not.
Do you remember the first time you watched this movie, buddy? Did you see it in theater or did you watch it?
No, I watched it at home.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Did you enjoy it then?
I did.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Good.
But I also enjoyed it more this time around.
Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed this movie a lot more this time than I did any other time. I had seen it 2 other times prior to watching it this time.
I think I paid attention to it more.
Yeah,
this time as well.
I was intrigued, and I don't know if it was because of the podcast or not. Maybe it was because of the podcast. So fans, longtime fans of the podcast, and newcoming fans, we're going to try something a little different this week.
Switching it up.
We are going to try a tidbit of structure to the episode. So we're going to start off with the synopsis and then talk about some fun things and then get into our likes and then our dislikes, our favorite kills, and then our overall rating of this movie. So those are the order of which these things will happen. We'll see how me and Jake do structured. We're still going to genuinely talk about it. We're not just going to, hopefully not just this part good, this part good, this part good,
And then
this part bad.
We're done in 15 minutes.
Yeah. But we are going to try to be slightly more structured to see if that keeps you guys intrigued for longer and can keep you guys requesting and being a part of the J Squared Horror Podcast. So the synopsis is, in 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in rural Texas. But when their reclusive elderly hosts catch them in the act, the crew find themselves fighting for their lives. Yeah, that's the synopsis, I guess.
All right.
Fuck, this is weird.
Fun facts.
Did you know that this movie had $1 million budget?
I did not know.
Roughly $1 million. Opening weekend did $4.5 million.
What?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still a success.
Yeah, but
I don't think it was widely put out. Was it?
I thought it was.
I saw it at home.
I did too, but I thought it wasn't.
But that's still a success, right? $1 million budget to a $4 million opening weekend.
Technically, 1.5 million is still a success. It's still more than what you put into
I
it.
don't think they put a lot of budget out for marketing and shit.
I remember seeing it all over the place.
Yeah, but that's just like commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't cost too much, does it?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know the ins and outs of that. One of the cool things that I did see is that, did you know that everyone's death was either hinted at visually or said in the movie?
I did pick up on that.
Did you?
I did.
Nice.
So
What gave it away this time?
So I've seen before, obviously,
Yeah.
but just watching it more this time.
Mhm.
Well, the scene where they first get to the little cabin shit they're in or whatever,
Yeah.
and their conversation.
Yeah.
He talks about eyes popping out of his
Yep.
head.
Yep.
Kid Cudi's character talks about farmers and guns.
Yep.
I
Yep.
was like, the fuck?
Also, did you know that the mural painted on the side of the building depicts a blonde being bitten in the bathing suit by an alligator?
That I did not notice.
Yep. So if you go back to that
Oh,
scene
shit.
when they're
Okay.
walking out, when they're all walking out of the store, if you look, it's got like that old Morton Salt kind of looking mural right there. That's a blonde, like pretty blonde, like pinup, and an alligator biting her swim trunks or her swimsuit, her bikini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, they mention
Yeah, I was about to say they never mentioned her. But
no, they didn't mention
it's
her.
right there in front of you.
But if you remember, also they say you do not ask a woman about her weight. And if you remember, the old guy at the end, when he's trying to carry Lorraine's body in, is like, "Ooh, she's heavier than she looks."
Yeah.
That hinted at his as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's death got hinted at.
He was so worried about having a heart, his heart couldn't take it.
That shit was so hilarious.
Yeah.
When he I loved that part. I did. Obviously, if you can't tell now, if you haven't seen X yet, you can rent it on Amazon Prime. We're going to talk about it fully, so good luck. We already spoiled a bunch of shit for you. Fuck it. Likes. I like the way the movie looks. Is that how we do this? Is that?
I like movie.
I like movie. Plot makes sense. Visually pretty.
It's gonna be a long one, folks. I liked the acting was good,
Yeah.
and like we mentioned earlier about every character being realistic to that character.
So let's get into that. I like that you brought that up because this is for the first time. I consider this a slasher, and if anybody disagrees or agrees, let us know in the comments. But I consider this a slasher. A lot of times slashers have characters you really don't give a fuck about, or you do not understand their decision making. Whether it's based on what you would do yourself or what you get from the character in the movie. I think that's the main point of what I like about the characters.
Okay.
All the little tidbits of information you get, whether it's the guy's directing style and what he wants, or the carefreeness of everyone else, or the fact that Kid Cudi's character, Jeremy, I do believe his name is, or something like that, is ex-military, and it focuses on that, and the blonde is kind of carefree and just fun and caring at the same time. Once you start getting into the points of when the movie kind of takes off, at no point did I question why this person is there and how they got. Like the decision making leading up to that. And then there's a lot of times in movies where you are just sitting there like, that's the dumbest fucking thing ever.
Well, the good thing is it gives you like an hour
Yeah.
of build up for each character. Them individually, them interacting with each other, gives you a feeling of their personality and like their morals, honestly.
Exactly. Morals, personality. And the what I enjoyed is a lot of times you would consider a movie like this kind of a slow burn.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like because they're shooting an adult film, it kind of distracts you from the fact that it could be a slow burn.
There's some stuff to keep
you
your mind
entertained.
occupied. Yeah.
So if you're not at all interested in boobies and sex, you might not want to watch this movie because that's a key component of shooting an adult film in rural Texas. Did you have a favorite character? Sole character. From start to end.
Favorite soul character start to end would probably be Maxine's boyfriend.
Okay. What was his name?
Was it like Waylon or Will?
Wayne.
Or Wayne?
I think it was Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, that's great. I loved him.
Yeah.
I did. He was steering the ship.
He was.
He was also like not a piece of shit.
He was definitely walking the line.
For the late 70s, makes sense.
Yeah.
His character. He's old. He's the oldest of the group for sure. And he, once again, from start to finish, you know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
But also, you might actually be surprised at his quickness of willing to help in that situation. Like, he doesn't even second. Like, he kind of grunts a little and just walks out there and takes care of it.
He doesn't even put his pants on.
No, he's just out there.
The problem? I got it. I'm on it. Right now.
Yeah. I liked his character, too.
Yeah, I did like the part when he's talking to the director.
Yeah.
And he's...
RJ.
RJ? Okay. Yeah. Look at you remember names.
I'm trying my best here today, dude.
Damn, you set my game up.
Yeah.
About how...
that's funny.
His girlfriend, Church Mouse.
Yes. Lorraine. Jack. All right. So it's... All right. Just to help.
I'm not going to remember.
Jenna Ortega, Lorraine. Easy to remember.
Church Mouse. Got it.
Brittany Snow, Bobby Lynn.
That's... Okay.
Jackson, Kid Cudi.
Okay.
And Wayne. So we were right on Wayne.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that, boys and girls.
So when Wayne's talking to...
RJ. Yeah. I didn't say that one, but I said it. I knew that was right. I knew RJ was right. They say it a lot when they're looking for him.
And RJ mentions to Wayne that Lorraine isn't like the other ones. And he steps up to him like, hey, what the fuck you saying right now?
Yeah.
He immediately backs in and apologized. But the fact that he's one to stand up for the people he's with, and he's a good dude, I felt like.
It's funny because like what RJ is doing is he's such a prick. Like he's if I was to have a least favorite character, it would be RJ.
Mine too.
Yeah. But my favorite character is Jackson.
Actually, no. Least favorite Lorraine. Go ahead.
My favorite's Jackson.
He was a very good character.
I love Jackson from start to finish. I love Jackson from start to finish. I love when he gets humbled by Bobby Lynn.
Yeah.
Where he thinks he's God's dick to the world. And she's like,
laying the wood on her.
Honey, I'm an actress. And I was like, yo, and then but he'd still, like the whole time, he's protective, he's caring. It's like these people seem like they've known each other. They might be a good friend group. I don't think so. I just think they really all vibe together, and that's why this movie was going to be a hit.
Yeah.
But I loved everything about him because even when you can actually see, and if you go back, and I'm not trying to talk race or 70s or anything like that, but if you look at how a guy would be treated in Vietnam and then come out and still be such a stand-up person for obviously some old hicks in Texas, you're not expecting him to be so willing to help
everyone.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, and he's just without hesitation, we're Marines for life. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just that brotherly camaraderie between military people that, and I thought his character was great. He's suave. He's charismatic. He's protective of the girl. Even when she wakes up, like I heard a noise, he's like, you go back to sleep. I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lorraine is your least favorite and RJ's my, we have a couple.
Yeah.
Our couple is the weakest links.
Lorraine is just so fucking whiny.
She is. But she's
She
the
doesn't
church
talk
mouse.
very much.
Church mouse. Yeah.
What she does is nothing positive.
Yeah. Wayne properly named her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, so you do speak."
Yeah. she's so even though I don't agree with what she did in this movie, it makes sense to her character and what you know about her. Does it not?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. No matter how dumb the decision making was in that, it makes sense to what she was. I think, and I've jokingly said this earlier, this is one of the visually stunning.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is RJ's death scene.
Why?
When she is going at his neck and the blood is hitting the headlights and it goes from normal dark to red
With the
because
tint,
the blood is on the headlights that are lighting the entire scene and it stays red until it's off scene. That kind of, just attention to detail, and it added just a visually coolness.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the coolest scenes I've seen in a long time.
I agree with that.
In
And
horror.
also, it visualizes in that moment. This is where Pearl snaps.
Yes.
She is no longer
She felt that again.
old lady.
This old, decrepit, confused. She knows what she's doing and she likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that scene, that whole scene was just cool. Like him just being dumb, being his normal RJ self. But as soon as that knife sticks in, that could have been it.
Sure.
He's going to die.
Yeah. The second he pulled it out.
She did.
No, he pulled it out.
Nope.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I could have swore.
Nope.
He
So,
pulled it out.
She's staring at him. He's making that gurgle face.
So he falls to the
She
ground.
mounts
on his own.
him. Yeah. See, he falls once he gets stabbed in the neck. She kind of stares at him for a little bit. He's gurgling. She mounts him,
She pulls it out.
looks at him, and goes, "I ain't done yet, motherfucker." Pulls that thing out. That's when the first squirt of blood hits the headlight and the scene goes to red.
Huh.
And then she just to the point, and they show this in detail. She cuts him so many times. After she's done, he is 90% decapitated. There are chunks of neck and vertebrae visual in that scene.
Yeah.
And it is just, it's like Jake said, she snapped back to the psycho that she is. And it showed that she is just a monster, an absolute monster, a decrepit old woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she pulled the knife out because that first pull out, and I noticed she was left-handed. Love my lefties.
Them damn lefties.
Lefties, bro. You got to watch out for us. Because when she pulls it out, that first squirt of blood hits the headlight. And then when she keeps going, it shows it flinging, and then it turns the whole scene red. Okay. But I'm 100% positive she pulls it. He's completely incapacitated. Like, he's just on the ground, just twitching and gurgling. And it's crazy because he looks like the fuckboy from the Evil Dead remake.
Yes, he does.
And I had to check IMDb last night. It's not him.
Okay.
But I was like, this motherfucker looks like that motherfucker.
Same,
and we hate this motherfucker.
Same glasses?
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Hair length, beard style. It was like identical to the piece of shit that read the book in Evil Dead remake.
Fucking idiot.
Fucking idiots.
Also,
man.
so what leads to him going out is obviously Church Mouse wanting to be a part of a scene.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that I was kind of.
That made no fucking sense to me.
Her wanting to be in the scene or his reaction to her being in the scene?
Her wanting to be in the scene.
No, it does. Because she's watching these girls get absolutely pleasured.
Okay.
And she's like, RJ ain't doing that shit for me.
Hey. That's got nothing to do with
Pretty
us.
apparent that would lead to it. But also, it's going to sound fucking lame. It was like a spiritual awakening. She was Church Mouse. She was just supposed to be the sound girl, the helper. And then she's watching this just like very, intimate and professional, just love making. And she wants to be a part of it.
Okay. She could have shot a scene with RJ.
I don't think RJ has the facilities for that. I'm pretty sure there's a scene where the door, he's standing at the door.
Oh, yeah.
And you see that thing going down to his knees. I know why Jackson was cast in this movie, bro. And I think the stereotypes are true. Yeah, RJ wanted no part about being an actor in that movie, bro. Nor did Wayne. Wayne just knew his place. His girl can get absolutely railed out. And he's like, go get it, girl.
Yeah. I
know what your skills are.
Yeah. But I did like when he said, because when the camera's rolling,
yeah,
it's just work.
It's acting. It's
all
work.
Yeah.
You have to separate the two, man. I do feel like she was just so closeted her whole life. Witnessing that, she was like, I want that hunk of man elbow, man forearm, I guess I should say, in or around me.
And it ruined RJ's life.
Yeah.
And cost him his life as well.
Yeah. So he reacts horribly, though. RJ is so distraught by his girl getting rammed out by Jackson that he's leaving. Like, that shook him to his core, because at the end of the day, he knows.
He's crying in the fucking shower.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
I ain't got the facilities for that, mate. Dude, it's that crying in the shower scene fucking sucked. Makes sense. Sucked. But the fact that he couldn't get over it and then decides to leave, and that's when he flips the truck around, and that's when Pearl is there. And he ultimately meets his demise.
You could have just swerved around her.
Yeah. But do you think it was going to end this way regardless, correct?
As far as what?
Them all dying.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. But he kind of sped up the process of it by being the first one away from the group that she could get to.
Yeah, because
then it forces the husband's hand.
Yeah, if he had just stayed inside.
Yeah, they would have woke up and kept filming. Yeah. Or wrapped up filming. I think they were getting pretty close.
And if Pearl would have eased her way inside their house or the little thing, they would have woke up and said, hey, what the fuck are you doing in there? Yeah. She couldn't have killed all of them at one time.
No. You had to start separating them, which they do very well.
Yeah. Because they play into being old.
Yeah. So, one thing that I wanted to say that I like about this movie is the depiction of... not the depiction. I love the fact that you're scared of old people at a certain point in this movie. Most of the time, it's old people being crazy. So if you look at The Visit, those people are batshit crazy. If you look at The Taking of Deborah Logan, she is batshit crazy. Influenced by other things, but also crazy. These people play the victim so well that everyone's guard is down. It makes for a actually chilling experience. A somewhat scary experience, even for the viewer. Because you know what she's capable of. You don't quite know what the husband's capable of. You can put two and two together once he starts getting people separated. But it plays all into the fact that, you know, I said it, the characters make decisions that I understand. But I feel like I would be in most of those situations. Because they played the old people victim, so they didn't seem super crazy. Her being lost, yes, which gets people out of the house. But they did it so fucking... It was like an art form of them being able to kill. Yeah. And it's impressive.
Unless you're heartless.
Yeah.
You're not going to not react the exact same ways.
Exactly.
You see an old naked lady wandering around with...
You're going to ask.
I need to go follow her.
Yeah.
Bring
Make
her
sure she's okay.
Back to her house.
Yeah.
I need to alert her husband. I need to be involved.
Yeah. The one thing about the RJ scene is she kind of starts making moves on him.
Then him saying no.
Him saying no is what caused the trigger.
Yeah.
So we forgot to mention that. But I did want to mention that. That's something I really, really like, is that old people in horror is usually depicted a very specific way. And it's usually outside influence or just absolutely like psychoness. They did it so methodical and like well that it's like they could get away with this.
Yeah.
They could have.
I agree.
They really could have.
Which they did, because you find when Church Mouse finds the guy hung up in the basement.
Yeah.
They have killed someone.
You want to know another fun fact?
What?
Here we go. The guy that's in the basement.
Okay.
When Jackson takes a sip of the milk before he rolls out.
He's on the carton?
It's a missing person. He's the guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Church Mouse and Wayne go off once RJ dies, because she's like, he's not in my bed. He's missing, but the truck's still here. Where is he? So they split off. What's one of the rules of horror here, guys.
You got to split up.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. Yeah, you got to because it's a horror movie.
Makes me think of Jason Takes Manhattan.
Okay.
When they first get to New York.
Yeah.
And Rennie, the two gangsters, take her.
Yeah.
And their first thought is to cover more ground.
Yeah.
We got to split up to this city we've never been to before.
So, yeah, so they split up. She goes towards the house. He goes towards the barn. And what Ty West does so well is the dance between two different scenes going on. You're not intrigued in one too much farther than the other, but he's also able to combine jump scares into both, like from one to another very well, to where you're like, oh shit. Wayne, in whitey tighties only, no boots, no shirt,
just barefoot,
no hat, just barefoot and walking around, steps on a nail, and it's done so well. It physically hurt me, and also when he pulls that nail out, the amount of blood seems a little much, but his acting of like stepping was just so accurate.
Yeah.
He's irritated, but knows like, I'm not going to die. This fucking sucks. RJ, if you're in here, I stepped on a fucking nail. Yeah. It hurts.
I need help.
Come check on me, bro. Like most of the time they would it seems like somebody would just sit there and scream forever.
Yeah.
Or it would just be some overly dramatic portrayal of an injury. We're like, yes, you can tell he's hurt. I've stepped on a nail like that, not all the way. I had a shoe on. But I remember being like, this fucking sucks. And then you just keep it limping like he does. He gets up because he sees a shadow walk past the wall, goes towards it, and then it cuts back to her, sees the old guy, and he's like, I need to find my wife, please. She could break a hip.
Which she does.
Mm-hmm. Every single one of them, dude. Every single
Even
one
her,
of them.
when she's carrying the boomstick.
Yeah.
And she gets killed.
Yeah.
Shotgun, boomstick.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dude, it's legit genius.
And you were talking about the scenes. I thought about the scene when they're having lemonade.
Yeah. Oh,
where
yeah.
It shows them having it in the porno.
Yeah.
And how happy and kind of seductive they are. Yep. And then in reality, it's like, she fucking guzzles down lemonade.
Dude, the back and forth like that, it's so good.
Yeah.
Because it's telling two stories because so much is going on at certain times, at same times in this movie in separate parts. But you don't have to sit there and watch the entire thing unfold.
Yeah.
Cut away. You're saving time. You're saving boring scenes. Your heart rate and anxiety are high because you're like, oh, wait, they're still in the house. Oh, but what the fuck's going on with him? Oh, hold on. She's still in the house. Like, your mind is going back and forth. So if something kind of spooky happens, it's going to kind of startle you a little bit because your brain is in like two different places.
Yeah, it's not giving you long to focus on one scene yet.
So what I love is he steps on that, starts screaming out, and then it cuts back to her, and they're like, we need to find her. And it's an old guy, right? And he's like, a flashlight. The other one's in the basement. And then everyone in unison, even if you're in theater, I'm sure you'd be like, don't you fucking go down there for a flashlight. And her head, church mouse, old guy. He's not going to walk down those stairs to get it. I'm young and spry. I'm going to go down there and get it.
She finds it and sprints back up the stairs.
So, but what I love is she goes, this is super funny. This is a blooper or a fuck up. Incandescent bulbs weren't created yet. So the bulb that she's looking at to turn on, that shit didn't exist in 79, bro. When she clicks it, it jumps back to him peeping through the holes. He gets stabbed in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Dude, the click of the light bulb leads to him being killed, which is the eye pop out.
So that's what I love. So earlier, you see the contact made.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the contact made.
You see her pulling it back out. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. And it's little details like that for, I guess, long-term horror fans. And I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I'm speaking on behalf of myself right now. That is fucking enjoyable.
Yeah.
Similar kills are done in all sorts of other movies. Basement stuff is done numerous times. Pitchforks are used numerous times. This cohesion of story and cinematography makes it so much fucking better.
What I love about that scene is, you know, it happened like super quick. She put it in, took it right back out.
Yeah.
But the other scene in between kind of takes you off of that for a second.
You almost, almost forget.
Yeah, to bring you right back to it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Insane. So she goes down to the base, sees the guy, dick all out. Runs up, realizes she's locked in. She's fucked. Guy's like, shut up. You're mine now. And this is all prior to even Jackson's still in bed because he doesn't come out because Pearl does the slow wander, I guess, from the truck into the house, which wakes Jackson up. What I loved about that, and I kind of already mentioned it, is I understand Jackson wanting to go help this old man. Marine to Marine, your wife is missing. Let's go.
Yeah.
He is just as smart as Pearl, the old man.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. He knows that Jackson's going to be quick and he's going to be in hero mode because of his background. So when I imagine he tosses the flashlight into the water.
Yeah.
He has the upper hand now.
Yeah.
Because you're going to turn around. There's a double barrel shotgun point blank on you.
Yeah.
And it's not overdone. There's not some crazy dialogue of explaining why you're doing this. He's just like, fuck you and your big dick. You're distracting my wife and you're making my life living hell. Bam, you're dead.
Yeah. He goes, yeah, okay.
And then boosh.
That's it.
That's it. Doesn't waste any practical on seeing him dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't you know he's fucked.
You know the distance.
Close range,
where they are,
double barrel.
He shot him. He went right into the water.
Right into the water.
We're done.
And you know what's going to get him after that.
Yeah.
It's little things like that. You can do it off screen, but it's such a scene to where you see enough. I think it might be like minor blood kind of shows up on screen too. I'm almost positive you kind of see like a spray.
You see it. It's
like
onto him.
Yeah, onto the old guy that pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the creepiest sequence of the movie is when Pearl gets into bed with Maxine.
Yeah.
Slightly drawn out, maybe. But it builds the creepiness of Pearl wanting to be Maxine, which you get into more once you get into Pearl, which there's a prequel to it.
I mean, I guess technically Pearl is Maxine.
No.
Pearl is Maxine in my head.
No,
all right?
Pearl is not Maxine. They are reflections of each other. Maxine is what Pearl always wanted to be. And Pearl is honestly Maxine's biggest fear of becoming of an old decrepit woman that just craves dick all the time.
Well, if I could...
That's the parallel.
Okay. If I could make just a quick, I guess, guess on how Maxine's going to end up, just real quick, very similar. Maxine's not going to become the big famous thing she wants to be.
No, probably not.
But I also don't think she'll live to be old either.
I don't either. I think she's going to die in this one.
Yeah. That's what she could have been. But to me, real quick, just having the same actors play two different people.
3 or 2.
Well, in this movie too,
overall, still technically only 2.
But the younger
old version, young version, and then
you look
Maxine.
identical.
Yeah.
You're in your fucking house, you see Pearl looking at the picture
of her.
Who looks just like you.
Yeah, and I think
you didn't notice that.
No, obviously, but I think
I'm saying she didn't.
Yeah,
notice that.
but I also think she's looking at it being like, this is what I can't become. I cannot become this old horny lady in a house. I can't. So she's going to do everything in her power to A, survive, and B, continue on the legacy of her being a star.
That probably pushes her and Maxine, you think?
Yeah, I really do.
She knows what
so
she went
if
through.
she doesn't become Pearl, it's because of surviving Pearl. And that's the twist. Pearl only had Pearl. Never had Maxine. When she had Maxine, she fucking dropped the ball. Because she was wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
Any other big likes?
No.
Those are all good parts.
Any major dislikes?
Major dislikes. Oh no, can I mention one more like?
Yeah, go ahead.
We love hand injuries on the podcast.
Oh.
Lorraine's broken fingers from getting her hand through the door. Brutal. Butt of a shotgun to the fingers. And when she's screaming on the other side, her middle finger bone is facing the wrong direction. And it's beautiful. It's not overdone. It's just small details like that I thought were super cool.
Only problem with that is my first thought, well, you know how doors are constructed. Why would you take out the panel
I thought the same thing. Look for the hinges and then go opposite of that.
Yeah, you know how fucking doors work.
But she's also terrified. So she just started swinging, I guess. She also is the worst decision maker in the movie. So it bodes well to her character.
Sure. Okay.
Any major dislikes? No. I got another like, though.
Okay.
The husband dying. He gets scared to death. And it's done beautifully.
Yeah, his fucking heart couldn't take it.
Yeah. He bangs out his wife one more time.
Yeah.
And didn't have much left. So when he shoots, Lorraine finally escapes because Maxine runs over. So there's this whole weird sequence of, and the blonde gets eaten by an alligator, which we hinted at earlier, because she was trying to help Pearl, and Pearl throws her in the fucking water, and then she gets barrel rolled. But when they're humping in the bed and Maxine's able to escape, that leads me to a dislike. I don't like Lorraine. I hated RJ, but I think I'm starting to agree with you on the Lorraine hate here. Because one of my biggest dislikes is I understand you're scared, but your friend is there. And you're blaming her for everything.
Well, not really friends, technically.
Well, you're blaming your co-companion for everything all of a sudden.
All of them.
All of them.
She hates all of them.
All of them. And then you run off screaming. And Maxine's literally like, just be quiet and we can get out of this.
Yeah.
Just listen.
No.
And she gets shot as soon as she clears the doorway right in the fucking face.
Old man is waiting for it to come out.
He's hobbling across. He's got some punani. But what's awesome is, we mentioned this earlier, he makes a comment on she's heavier than she looks, and that plays onto a conversation earlier. But when they finally get her in the house, because he even says in the background, I love this little detail. He goes, if she's in our house, it's self-defense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you cocksucker. Everybody else is eaten by alligators, but you know this shit right here is just too much work.
Yeah. She's too far from the water.
Too far from the water. We're not going to carry her over there. It's too heavy. And she gurgles once, scares the shit out of him. He dies right there.
And then I love right after that, Pearl looks at Maxine and says, he's having a heart attack. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It's stuff like that. Like when they actually, like, you would typically in your head think that.
Yeah.
This movie, she says that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hidden dialogue. It is blatant.
Yeah.
Maxine's character is great. There's stuff that's like weird about her, but she's very relatable. This is one of my favorite Final Girls.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking all I have left now is my one major dislike.
All right, we're in the dislike part, so let's get your big dislike out.
This whole backstory parallel with her father being on TV.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that. Maybe it'll tie more in Maxine.
Yeah. So what when you do movies and you make them knowing there's going to be sequels to it or a sequel, kind of like Halloween trilogy.
Yeah.
When you already announce there's going to be other movies, when you release a movie, there's certain things that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
And I get you're going to explain it, but you haven't
yet.
So as of right now, I don't understand it and do not fuck with it.
Yeah. It shows this video is playing, and it shows that the pastor's daughter's Maxine, and he's like, the devil's taking her,
Which it doesn't,
just meaning that she's not what he wanted her to be.
Which even when I saw it before, obviously if you've rewatched it,
Yeah.
But watching it again, I had totally forgotten about that.
I did too.
Until they both say they will not take a life they do not deserve.
Yeah. They will not live a life that's not
they
deserved.
say it at the exact same time.
Yeah, they say it in unison together.
Yeah, and right after when Pearl picks a shotgun up and shoots at her and it misses somehow.
Yeah.
And the blast takes her out and breaks her hip. The TV then says, there is divine intervention.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on now. We get it.
She gets yeeted out that door from that shotgun blast, dude.
Yeah, she breaks her hip and she wants help again. So,
Yeah.
okay, if I didn't get fucked about your husband,
I definitely don't give a fuck about
you. You were fucked.
She just tried to shoot you a couple times.
Yeah.
But the gun was unloaded, which I think was also hinted at earlier on.
How?
Because when he enters the door for Wayne and has the gun, he's like, it's unloaded anyway. He's like, it's okay. Mine is doing the dash or in the glove box of the car.
Oh shit! Yeah. So when
Everything is told.
when Maxine tries to shoot, there's nothing.
Well, she didn't hear it. They were all inside. They were all in the van still.
True, she didn't hear it, but
Yeah, but that's why
it's mentioned earlier.
you
yeah.
should have known. You forgot about it when you're seeing that scene. You're not thinking about that.
Yeah, it's like
but when it clicks,
an hour and a half ago.
when it clicks in my head, and I'm like, fucking foreshadowing earlier that gun's just as useless. But his boomstick wasn't useless, but it was used a few times.
It was.
But yeah, I didn't understand that. Also, I didn't have any dislikes really. I would say, just Lorraine and RJ's whole characters, but they were needed. So it doesn't do a disservice to the movie.
100% needed, yeah.
Does not do a disservice. It's rare that I don't have many dislikes. One of the cool things that we didn't mention earlier, we talked about this outside, so I want to mention it real quickly. We're still doing pretty good. Texas Chainsaw for sure. Makes you think of Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
So the beginning of this movie starts off just like the beginning of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, to the point where I'm almost certain it's identical, like cop movements and.
So are that and the shots where they first get to their house?
Yeah.
And you see the shot from inside the house,
Yeah.
looking at the front door.
Yeah.
That and I think it was Maxine walking from the house, walking back to.
Yeah.
It is pretty much shot for
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Very similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
What was the other one you were thinking of? Because you said a couple.
Let me think.
I heard you say it might have been a couple, but maybe we were
I
just
think I
thinking
did
Texas.
say a couple, but
Yeah.
right now all I can think of is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All right, so I want to show you this real quick. I'll pop it up on the YouTube when we do it. Look how similar Shelley Duvall and Mia Goth look.
Oh wow.
Yeah. What's funny though is the reason I want to show this, and I'll pop it up on here. When she's running from the house after the lemonade scene, Shelley Duvall, The Shining.
Really?
When she's just frolicking through the yard, scared, it screamed The Shining for me.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know if that was a little paid homage to
Could've been.
the great Shelley Duvall and Mia Goth looking so much like
Yeah.
her. Clearly, I'm not the only one that fucking thinks it.
Sure, yeah.
That was a post on social media I saw the other day. But also, one of my favorite horror cops of all time is in this movie. He's what we wanted the sheriff in Halloween 2018 and beyond to be, but he wasn't. And this one is.
So I also thought that. So when I have an image in my head of me playing a sheriff,
Dude, I'm telling you, I've had this.
that sheriff right there.
I've been thinking. I've thunked it, and I'm seeing it. It's beautiful.
I love the hat.
Yeah. I love the look.
Yeah.
I love that they're not they're kind of defeated.
I love the tacky 1970s tie.
Yes, dude. Yeah, the sunglass, what's that? The guy from fucking CSI.
Yeah.
But also what I like, there's one other tie-in, and it's when Pearl finally gets got. There's a similar scene. So when they're bypassing the cow accident in the beginning of the movie where you first see the sheriff, they run over Guts. And then when she backs over Pearl,
Oh yeah.
almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she drives off in the sunset, snorting some cocaine. Cuts to the beginning of the movie, which is the end of the movie. And they bring out the camcorder. And one of the greatest horror lines. I guess it's meta. I guess it would be like a meta line, which is super cool. Because it's like aware and unaware.
Yeah.
Aware of what it is. Because this is a fucked up horror movie.
Yeah.
But when he says that, what do you think's on it? Like a really fucked up horror picture. And I was like, dude. And it ends right then.
Yeah.
Like credits, done, music. I think that's one of the greatest endings of a horror film ever.
I agree.
Yeah, I loved it. I didn't have any hate.
Also, the song that plays
Yes.
right after.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. I want to have the soundtrack. All right. So, what's your favorite kill?
Favorite kill.
We got plenty to choose from. Finally, we've been going on a couple where we
know.
didn't have many to choose from.
Favorite kill, hands down, Wayne.
That's your favorite kill?
That's my favorite kill.
Yeah.
I think just the way they broke it up.
Yeah.
Well, the whole scene leading up to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the actual him looking, seeing the pitchfork handle there,
Yeah.
looking, still looking. Me imagining Pearl being off to the side.
Yeah, because she knows.
And just fucking nailing his ass.
That's a good scene.
What about you?
I got to go RJ because of everything I had already said.
Okay, yeah.
I loved it.
I think from an artistic standpoint, that is the best looking kill.
What makes you feel the most is probably Wayne, and Jackson, but it's it's not as built up. It's more plot driven than anything. But yeah, all right. On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate X?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I rate X an 8.7.
Damn. Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good rating.
What about you?
On a scale from 1 to 10, the movie X is a 9.
Okay.
It's a 9. I loved it.
I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me the second time I watched it, 7.5, 8. The first time I watched it, 7. I don't know, man. I went into this movie with just a completely blank mind. And maybe that's what I needed to do from the jump. I'd seen Pearl. I don't give a shit about Pearl. I know a lot of people love it. It's a fine movie. I'm super excited about Maxine because it's a continuation of this story.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In my mind, it's going to go X, Maxine,
Pearl. That's what I'm guessing now. Yeah. And I'm super excited about it. So you guys know, because we mentioned it earlier, next week's episode is going to be Maxine. We're going to see it on Friday night, and then we'll get together and convene and just do it for a Thursday episode. We're not going to do a bonus episode because we're pacing out very well, because following Maxine, we should be able to do Long Legs, which we're super excited about. And next week, I'm going to do something super fun. There is a phone number that you can call. So at the end of next week's episode, we are going to actually call the phone number from the ad from their social media and listen to what it says. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to plug my phone into our audio equipment, and we're all going to listen to it together. There's a phone number that you can call from an Instagram post, and it plays something in with the promoting of this movie.
Okay.
I have the number. I fucked with this earlier. I think it'll work perfectly because there's a Bluetooth option on here. We're going to call the number on the podcast, and all listen to it for the first time together before we go see Long Legs.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm super pumped on that. So you guys know the next 2 episodes we're doing. Obviously, filter in any, or send in any requests. We got plenty of time to do those after these. But these next couple movies we are super excited about. X was a good time, had a blast. Nothing that we missed or that you wanted to talk about X?
No.
Yeah, I'm good too, man. That was a fun one. A huge shout out, as always, to our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work. Anything you see between us on YouTube, any of our social media icons, any of the J Squared Horror merchandise you see is all done by Mr. Jeff Balance himself. Jake's rocking it right now. A humongous shout out to Mr. Lucky Riggs, does the intro and the outro music. We love it. Fits the podcast great. A massive shout out to Mr. Jake Devine for being the world's greatest host a guy could ask for. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Always have a blast getting on the podcast with you. A huge shout out to all of our fans, our number one fans, our new fans, anybody like that. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Let us know what you guys want to hear. Let us know how you feel about our episodes. Let us know if you like the structure. We kind of did it. I feel, we did great. Next week, Maxine. Following that, Long Legs. Fun little tidbit at the end of Maxine next week with Long Legs. So we're super excited. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week. And always remember, it's hip to be squared.